"Excuse me, sir. Employees only." The words hit like a wall. The man stops mid-step. He looks at the receptionist behind the front desk, arms crossed, eyes scanning him up and down. He doesn't speak yet. He doesn't have to, because he knows exactly what's happening. "I have a meeting," he says, voice calm. She scoffs. "With who?" "The CEO." She laughs, loud, dismissive. "Nice try. You need an appointment to meet someone like that." He tilts his head. She has no idea who she just stopped, and in a few moments she'll regret every word. Before we continue the story, let us know where are you watching from. The man stays calm, watching the receptionist with a knowing look. He's seen this before. His name? Daniel Carter. A name most people in this building should recognize, because he owns it. But today, Lisa Reynolds doesn't recognize him. Lisa has worked at the front desk for over 5 years. She's seen hundreds of people walk in and out, and she decides who gets past her. In her mind, this man, he doesn't belong. His suit may be sharp, but she's already made her judgment. The lobby is sleek, modern, glass walls, marble floors, a place built for power and wealth. Executives hurry past, barely sparing a glance at the interaction unfolding at the front desk. Lisa taps her nails against the desk. "Look, sir, I don't have all day. If you're looking for a job, HR is on the second floor." Daniel raises an eyebrow. She's confident. Too confident. A few employees passing by glance at them, sensing the tension. But nobody steps in. Not yet. Lisa sighs dramatically. She thinks she's in control. She's about to find out just how wrong she is. Daniel doesn't argue. He doesn't need to. Lisa is already convinced she's right. In her mind, he's just another guy trying to talk his way into a place he doesn't belong. She leans forward slightly, her voice firm. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The CEO doesn't have time for walk-ins." Daniel tilts his head. He watches her, calm and collected. "You're absolutely right." She smirks, satisfied. She thinks she's won. Then he pulls out his phone. Lisa watches as he types a quick message. A few seconds later, her desk phone rings. She blinks. No one ever calls the front desk directly unless it's urgent. She hesitates, then picks up. "Front desk." A voice on the other end, sharp, authoritative. "Lisa, whatever you're doing, stop immediately. That man? Let him through." Lisa frowns. "I don't understand." The voice cuts her off. "Lisa, that's Daniel Carter. He's the CEO." Lisa's stomach drops. Her hand grips the receiver tighter. Her face burns. She glances up at Daniel, who's watching her with the same calm expression he had from the start. She stammers into the phone. I didn't know." Click. The call ends. The entire lobby feels different now. People nearby, sensing something is off, start paying attention. Lisa clears her throat. "Mr. Carter, Daniel raises a hand. "Don't." Silence. Lisa's confidence shatters. The executives walking by? They've stopped. Some whisper to each other. Others just stare. Lisa forces a weak laugh. "This is just a misunderstanding." Daniel tilts his head. "Is it?" She nods quickly. I didn't recognize you." Daniel steps forward slightly. Now she feels small. "You didn't ask." Lisa's throat goes dry. Daniel glances around. "How many other people have you treated like this?" A few employees shift uncomfortably. Lisa forces a nervous chuckle. "Oh, come on, Mr. Carter. It was just a mistake." Daniel exhales. "You saw me walk in and assumed I didn't belong. You didn't ask for my name. You didn't ask for my purpose here. You just made a decision based on what I looked like." Lisa's hands tremble. The security guard arrives, stepping up beside them. "Problem here?" Lisa's lips part, but she doesn't speak. Because now, she's the one who feels out of place. Daniel shakes his head. No problem. He turns to the security guard. Appreciate your quick response, though. Lisa feels trapped in her own mistake. The same system she relied on to shut people out. It just turned on her. The security guard nods, stepping away. But he's still watching. Everyone is. Lisa tries again. Mr. Carter, I assure you, this won't happen again. Daniel holds her gaze for a moment. Then finally he says, I hope not. He walks past her, heading toward the executive floor. Lisa sinks into her chair. The receptionist who once controlled the entrance to the CEO's office. She just learned the hard way. She never had any real power to begin with. And now, everyone knows it. Lisa stares at the elevator doors as they close behind Daniel. Her entire body feels frozen. The whispers around the lobby grow louder. People exchange looks. Some shake their heads. Others glance at Lisa, waiting for her to react. She swallows hard. How could this happen? For years, she controlled this front desk. She decided who got through, who didn't. And now, in the span of a few minutes, everything has changed. Her hands are shaking as she reaches for her water bottle. But she can feel the stares, the weight of them. No one is going to forget this. A woman from HR walks past, gives Lisa a look, half pity, half disappointment. Lisa knows that look. It's the same one she's given job applicants she rejected before even glancing at their resumes. Now, she's the one being judged. A junior employee approaches the front desk cautiously. He's barely been here 6 months, but even he knows better than to make a mistake like that. So, that was the CEO? He asks hesitantly. Lisa grips the desk. I didn't recognize him. The junior employee nods slowly. Right. His voice is neutral, but the meaning is clear. Lisa exhales sharply. I didn't. But even she doesn't believe it anymore, because deep down, she knows the truth. She didn't stop Daniel because she didn't recognize him. She stopped him because she assumed. And that assumption, it just cost her everything. The security guard returns, his walk slower this time. He leans against the counter, arms crossed. For the first time, he looks at her like she's the outsider. You good? He asks, his voice casual, but there's something else underneath. Lisa forces a tight smile. Of course. But she's not, because she knows what's coming next. Upstairs, Daniel steps into the boardroom. His assistant is already waiting. They called from HR, she says, handing him a folder. Lisa Reynolds. Been here 5 years. Never had complaints, but, well, you saw for yourself. Daniel flips through the file. He isn't angry. He isn't surprised. He's just disappointed. She's not the first, he mutters, and she won't be the last. His assistant hesitates. What do you want to do? Daniel closes the file and sets it down. He doesn't answer right away. He's thinking. Firing her? That would be easy. Too easy. He could call her in, let her know she no longer works here. Watch the panic in her eyes, the realization that one moment of arrogance just ended her career. But that wouldn't fix anything, because for every Lisa, there are 100 more. People who judge before they think. People who assume before they ask. Lisa made a mistake. But how many more people have walked through that lobby and been turned away? How many never even made it past the front desk? Daniel leans back in his chair. Set up a meeting with HR, he says. I want to handle this myself. His assistant nods and leaves. Daniel exhales, running a hand over his chin. Because this isn't just about Lisa. It never was. This is about a system built to keep people like him on the outside. And today, that system just collapsed. Lisa sits at her desk, but she isn't really there. Her mind is spinning. This can't be happening. Minutes ago, she was in control. Now, she feels like a stranger in her own workplace. She stares at her computer screen pretending to be busy, but her hands won't stop shaking. Everyone saw. Everyone knows. A notification pops up on her screen. HR meeting, 4 p.m. Her heart drops. She glances at the time. 3:45 p.m. 15 minutes. 15 minutes to figure out how to fix this. She looks around, searching for a friendly face, someone who might stand by her. But no one meets her eyes. The people she used to chat with, laugh with, they're avoiding her now, because today she's the problem. Her phone buzzes, a text from her friend in another department. "What happened? I heard you stopped the CEO from coming in." Lisa's throat tightens. She starts typing, then deletes it. What is she supposed to say? The seconds drag on. 3:50 p.m. The elevator dings. The HR manager steps out, heading straight for her desk. Lisa forces a smile. "Oh, I was just heading over." The HR manager doesn't return the smile. "Come with me." She stands, her legs unsteady. She's walked these halls 100 times. But today, they feel different. They enter the meeting room. Daniel is already inside, waiting. Lisa swallows. She's never been this close to him before. She pulls out a chair, but Daniel shakes his head. "You won't need to sit." Her stomach clenches. This is worse than she thought. The HR manager clears her throat. "Lisa, we need to talk about what happened today." Lisa jumps in. I didn't mean to offend anyone." Daniel raises an eyebrow. "Didn't you?" She exhales shakily. "I didn't recognize you, sir. I thought you were—" She stops herself. Daniel leans forward slightly. "Go on. You thought I was—" Lisa's lips press together. She knows there's no right answer here. The silence is heavy. Daniel nods. "Exactly." Lisa's pulse races. She needs to fix this. "I've always taken my job seriously," she says quickly. "I've worked hard to keep this company secure." Daniel doesn't blink. "Did you? Or did you just decide who looked important enough to walk through that door?" Lisa flinches. The HR manager speaks now. "Lisa, we reviewed security footage. This wasn't a misunderstanding. You dismissed Mr. Carter without asking for his name. You assumed." Lisa's mouth goes dry. This is bad. Daniel folds his arms. "If I were someone else, someone you thought fit the part, you would have let me through without question. Wouldn't you?" Lisa wants to argue, but she can't, because he's right. She looks down. "I'm sorry." Daniel exhales. "You know, I wasn't going to fire you." Lisa's eyes snap up. "Wasn't?" He leans back. "I was going to let HR handle it. Maybe a warning, maybe some training. But then I looked into your file." Her stomach twists. "What does that mean?" He slides a document toward her. "You've been here 5 years. And in that time, you've had several complaints. Unofficial, but noted." Lisa blinks. "What?" The HR manager nods. "Employees have reported feeling dismissed or ignored at the front desk. We even had a few concerns from candidates who interviewed here." Lisa's skin burns. She never thought anyone noticed. Daniel clasps his hands together. "The truth is, Lisa, you were a gatekeeper, and not in a good way." Her breath shudders. She thought she was protecting the company, but all this time, she had been pushing people out. Daniel exhales. "I built this company so people like me wouldn't have to prove themselves at the door." Lisa's chest tightens. "I don't want to fire you," Daniel says, "but you can't stay in your role." Her stomach drops. "What?" The HR manager slides a document across the table. "Effective immediately, you're being transferred." Lisa stares. "A transfer?" "To the customer service department," Daniel continues. "You'll work under a manager who will oversee your interactions." Lisa's face flames. "Customer service? Under supervision?" She clenches her jaw. That's a demotion. Daniel shrugs. Call it whatever you want. Lisa grips the chair. She could quit. Right now. Walk out. Never look back. But where would she go? Her voice is small. If I refuse? The HR manager closes the folder. Then we'll have to let you go. Lisa stares at the document. This isn't how today was supposed to go. She looks up at Daniel. His expression is unreadable, but his message is clear. If she wants to stay, she has to change. She exhales. I'll take the transfer. Daniel nods. Good. Lisa stands. She feels smaller than ever. But as she walks out of the meeting room, she knows this isn't over. Because now, she has something to prove. Lisa steps out of the meeting room, her hands gripping the folder so tightly her knuckles turn white. Her mind is spinning. She had a choice. Take the transfer or lose her job. And now, as she walks back to her desk, it hits her. She's no longer in control. The same front desk she once ruled. It's no longer hers. Her co-workers watch her, pretending to be busy. Some whisper, others just stare. Lisa used to be the one with power. Now she's the one being talked about. She sinks into her chair, her last few minutes at this desk, the place where she decided who was important enough to walk through the doors. And now, she isn't important enough to sit here anymore. A message pops up on her screen. New desk assignment, customer service floor. Her stomach clenches. Reality is sinking in. A familiar voice makes her look up. The security guard. Rough day. His tone isn't mocking. It's almost understanding. Lisa exhales. You could say that. He leans against the desk. You know, I've been here for 2 years. Seen a lot of people come and go. She stays quiet. He shrugs. Thing is, power's funny. You think you have it, but it's only real if you treat people right. Otherwise, one day, you wake up and it's gone. Lisa looks away. She knows he's talking about her. The security guard watches her for a second, then nods. See you around. She doesn't respond, because now, she doesn't know who she is anymore. Daniel sits in his office, looking out at the city skyline. He's been thinking about Lisa. Not just her, but what she represents. How many people like her have sat behind desks, deciding who gets through and who doesn't. How many talented people have been turned away. His assistant enters. Everything's set. Lisa will start in customer service tomorrow. Daniel nods. Good. She hesitates. Do you think she'll learn from this? He sighs. I don't know. People don't change overnight. Some never change at all. But one thing is certain. She won't have the power to judge people at the door anymore. And for him, that's a start. Lisa walks into the new office, her shoulders tense. The room is nothing like the sleek, polished lobby she once controlled. Desks crammed together, phones ringing, employees rushing between calls. The air is thick with conversation. She spots her new manager, a woman named Rachel, waving her over. Lisa, right. Welcome to the team. Lisa forces a smile. Thanks. Rachel gestures toward a chair. Go ahead and get settled. We handle a lot of calls here. Complaints, escalations, customer issues. It's fast-paced, but you'll get used to it. Lisa nods, but her stomach twists. This isn't what she expected. She thought she'd still have some control, some authority. But here, she's just another employee. She logs into her system. Her first call comes in almost immediately. Hello, this is Lisa. How can I assist you? A woman on the other end launches into a furious rant. I've been on hold for 20 minutes. Is this how you treat your customers? Lisa stammers. I apologize, ma'am. Let me see how I can help. The woman sighs. You people are all the same. You don't care about customers. You just do the bare minimum. Lisa flinches. Those words sting, because she remembers saying something similar to Daniel. Back at the front desk, she thought she was the gatekeeper. She thought she was doing something important. But now, she's on the other side, and it doesn't feel good. By lunchtime, Lisa's head is pounding. She's used to people listening to her, not yelling at her. Rachel notices her rubbing her temples. Tough first day? Lisa exhales. Yeah, guess I never realized how much work goes into this. Rachel chuckles. It's not easy. People judge you before they even know you. Lisa freezes. The words hit too close to home. She nods slowly. Yeah, I get that now. Rachel pats her shoulder. You'll adjust. Just remember, respect goes both ways. The way you treat people. It always comes back to you. Lisa knows she's right. And for the first time in a long time, she feels small. Not because she's powerless, but because she finally understands what it feels like to be on the other side. That evening, Daniel leaves the office late. He steps into the empty lobby, pausing where Lisa once sat. For years, this desk was her domain. She controlled who walked through these doors. But now, it belongs to someone else. He thinks about the countless people who might have been turned away, people who deserved a chance. Lisa learned her lesson. But how many others are still making the same mistake? His assistant catches up to him. Heading out, Daniel nods. Yeah, long day. She tilts her head. You think Lisa will make it in customer service? Daniel exhales. That's up to her. Some people change, some don't. But one thing is certain. Power isn't about sitting behind a desk. It's about how you treat people. And today, that lesson was loud and clear. That night, Lisa lays in bed, staring at the ceiling. The voices from the day replay in her head. People judge you before they even know you. You think you have power, but it's only real if you treat people right. She closes her eyes. She thought she knew everything, but today, she learned something new. Lisa thought she had power. She thought she was in control. But in the end, she learned the hard way. Power isn't about status. It's about how you treat people. She spent years judging people before they could even speak. And now, she knows what it feels like to be judged. But the real question is, will she change? That's something only time will tell. And this isn't just Lisa's story. This happens every single day. How many people get dismissed before they even get a chance? How many are judged for how they look, how they dress, where they come from? Now, think about yourself. Have you ever been in a situation where someone underestimated you? Or have you ever caught yourself making assumptions about someone else? Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever seen someone judged unfairly? Or has it happened to you? Let's talk about it. And if this story made you think, share it. Because sometimes all it takes is one moment to open someone's eyes. Thanks for watching. Stay kind. Stay aware and never let appearances decide someone's worth.